I've had this saying, Andrew, for a number of years that people leave managers, they don't leave companies. And I see it every day in recruitment. It brings home to me that leadership and management is one of the best retention strategies that a company could use. What do you think about that sort of statement?
Well, I think that's pretty right, isn't it? It is pretty right. You know, in the end, when people go to work, certainly if somebody who's a bit passionate, has got something they want to give, they want to go to work and have a nice time.
Yep.
You know, it's just natural. It's just natural human behaviour. Nobody wants to go to work and be flogged all day, and you know, feel as though they're not appreciated or undervalued or being treated unfairly. Nobody wants that. And then to go home, and then what do? They vent to their husband or their wife, and they relive it again. And even in a tight market, people only put up with that for so long. And you know, Craig, you came along to that leadership course I've just done, and one of the key things we talk about is how what's going on in here drives what we say and how we behave. And if, you know, I'm flogging someone, or I'm giving someone a hard time, or whatever it might be, so that they feel when I come near them, you know, fear, anger, distrust, whatever the emotion might be, what's the impact of that internally?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's about relationships, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
We've all read the textbooks about management theory and all those sorts of things, but yeah, one of the big keys that I got out of your course was, you know, it's that brain-heart connectivity of, you know, building relationships with people, as opposed to the old school manager servant type relationship.
So there's that great quote from I think is it Eisenhower, whoever it's by anyway. The great quote which says, you know, leadership isn't hitting people over the head. That's assault. Yeah,
absolutely.
And what you want to do, you know, is that other great saying where they say, you know, what do managers do? Managers light the fire under people. Leaders light the fire in people. And that's what you want. You want people to find their own passion, their own motivation. So when they're turning up to go to work, they love coming. Yep. They're doing something they are motivated because they're winning, they feel great about what they're doing. And of course, to do that, you want to connect with people at a whole range of levels. So you want to have people connected intellectually. What does that mean? It means that they need to know where you're going, what they're here for, and not just to make money. I don't know about you, but if you ever work for someone who just, their sole motivation is, mate, we're here to make money, that's all we're here. We're here to make money. Actually, you're here to make money for me.
Yeah.
Well, it's not very motivational, is it?
No, absolutely not. And look, you know, we've all heard those theories, or we've read the reports about the dollar isn't the greatest motivator. Look, it's a factor.
Of course.
And when I'm in recruitment, or when I'm doing HR consulting and working with businesses, you see that as a factor, but you're absolutely right. How someone's led, what the manager lights within them, that can be a real driver how the business makes money. But it's more importantly, that making money is fed off how people work. So Andrew, the positive conversations that need to come in terms of building that relationship, you talked about the Lasada effect, I think it was called. Can you educate me a little bit more on that?
So the Lasada effect, it comes from some research done around positive psychology, and what it says is that high-performing teams, it's just a study of high-performing teams, they have more positive language than negative language.
Yeah.
And positive in terms of, you know, body language, you know, frowning all the time as opposed to maybe smiling, maybe giving affirmation, even when we're talking here, you know, affirming.
Absolutely.
Language, tone, emails, all those sorts of things. And they found that high-performance teams use somewhere between 3 to 6 positive language to every negative. So there is a balance, you know, 3 to 6 to 1 negative. Yeah. And what it's about, it's not about being a Pollyanna, it's not about positive thinking.
Yep.
Because that can be a bit unreal.
Because you still have to do the negative. That negative is a component of being a manager.
Absolutely, you've got to deal with those things. But what you're doing is you're talking in a way that creates opportunity or talks about possibility. So rather than talk to you in a way which creates stress, so for example, if I come and say, no, great, you haven't been doing that, you haven't been doing this, you haven't been doing that, and what's more, if we don't do that, we're going to go bust. And if we haven't, that client's off their heads. Now that's all negative, negative, negative. What happens most in most individuals? Stress, fear response. What does that do? Reduces IQ, reduces productivity, all of those things. Yep. So the way to deal with it in the positive side is to be saying, now Craig, I noticed that you're doing that, and that's great in that part of the job, and the way you could improve that is to also do that. Now, this client over here, we know that, you know, they've been a client for a long time, they've been working well with us, but lately they're complaining about this. And if we can turn that around, or if we can do that, that should make them happy, get them back on board.
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, they know that's a challenge,
Yep.
but it's not stressful.
So you've worded it in a more positive
That's
way.
right,
Yep.
that's right. And so it's not about positive thinking.
Yep.
It's about helping people see that there's opportunity, that there's growth, that there's potential,
Yep.
as opposed to hitting them over the head, as it were, constantly with a big stick saying,
Yep.
work harder, work harder, work harder, which we know doesn't work.
Good stuff. So I think we both agree that, yeah, people lead managers, they don't lead companies.
So true.
For me, it's all about finding the right managers today and giving them the skills and the knowledge to manage better. But it's also about planning, succession planning. So I work with a lot of companies that are gearing up to the future. They're looking at who they're going to promote into the leadership roles of tomorrow. So what you're talking about now could be a real good source of information for them as they grow into those potential roles. So you've got a course coming up soon in Newcastle. Can you give us a little bit of information about that?
Okay, yeah, course coming up, 3-day course run on consecutive Fridays, starts the 9th of August.
Yep.
3 days we target, as you'll know,
Yep.
the 3 days we target separate areas. So the first day is all about being the authentic leader.
Yeah.
Because you know what? There's no right or wrong leadership style.
Yep.
Your style is the best style. So the first day, it's all about unleashing and being that authentic you. Because it's about relationship building, and you've got to be yourself.
And so then you're going to make them walk like a matador at the last.
Yes, we do have a fun, and look, don't give too much away. Right? We have a bit of fun, get them to walk like a matador. But the second day, what we focus on is it's all about mastering the leader's relationship. So now that I'm going to turn up as myself, I'm going to look after how I feel.
Yep.
Now it's about, well, okay, how do I relate to people? How do I get on with people? How do I have those difficult conversations?
Yep.
What's my intention towards those people? Because you know what, everyone wants the benevolent leader, someone who they think has got them in mind doing the right thing by them. So we focus on that the second day, and you'll know we have some games, we have some tough conversations. And then the very last day, we go on to, okay, I've looked after you, I now know how to relate to people, how do I bring a team together? And so we go through the 5 key stages of bringing a team together, and I give you the tools to then so you can go straight back to your team and start to roll these things out. So the team can really start to perform, and that's really lighting that team fire, as it were. So they're the 3 separate days. Go to andrewhughes.com, very simple. You'll see the leadership workshop banner at the bottom of the front page. Just click on there and it takes you to the page where you can register.
Excellent.
It'll be 3 great days. We're at Noah's, so we'll have a great view of the beach. We'll have some great food, and we'll certainly have 3 fun days. That's an important part of any training. You've got to have fun, because it helps you learn.
Good stuff. All right, well, thanks for coming along today,
Thanks
Andrew.
for having me.
Appreciate your time.
Good on you.
Cheers.